Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom from our studios at number 5 Owula Hansen Lane at Tesano. I'm Frema Edunyame. Coming up. SHS placement tensions ease with Vice President Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman calling for respectful handling of parents.
You yourself, you can see the situation yesterday and then what you are witnessing today. We have been able to decongest the place like I promised yesterday.
Electricity bills to go up slightly from October as PURC reviews tariffs. Also coming up, minority warns against departure from Ghana's non-aligned foreign policy.
The caucus wishes to emphasize that Ghana's enduring strength in international relations has always come from its ability to maintain independence, neutrality, and credibility, even when global powers have sought to draw us into their competing blocks.
Passenger train services resume on Teba-Mpakadan corridor October 1.
I'm happy, therefore, to announce to the general public that the 1st October, Ghana Railway Development Authority will be initiating the first passenger service run on the Tema to Adome.
In Channel 1 Business. Ghana rakes in over 15 billion cedis from foreign visitors between October 2022 and September 2023. And in Channel 1 Sports. Ghana's Tariq Lamptey sidelined after ACL surgery. Now, in our first story, crowds at Accra's Resolution Center dropped sharply on Wednesday, a stark contrast to Tuesday's overwhelming rush as smoother operations and faster resolutions took hold. Meanwhile, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has urged officials handling the SHS placement process to treat anxious parents with patience and respect. Channel 1 News' Samia Kum has more.
Unlike Tuesday, when long queues and anxious parents dominated the scene, Wednesday's atmosphere at the Resolution Center was noticeably calmer and more orderly. Officials attribute the reduced pressure to prompt responses to parents' concerns, which they say is streamlining the process.
You yourself, you can see the situation yesterday and then what you are witnessing today. We have been able to decongest the place like I promised yesterday, and you realize that we are recording fewer numbers. That tells you that we are responding to the issues.
Still, not all frustrations were eased. Channel 1 News encountered a parent visibly distraught while seeking a boarding status for his ward, citing distance challenges.
Confused. Never been a fast school no one pacho kabibi train.
A first school no. Treatment in a possible. Person member. We pay board name and the day no man and person may change him and drama more.
Na school na embe mo home.
Yeah, first I wanna choose a 12 and a mutual. It's not my person.
Judith Asari Asabia, a student with an aggregate of 14, also shared her disappointment, insisting the computerized placement was flawed since peers with weaker results secured better schools. She called for a return to manual placement.
Are you sad?
I'm disappointed and I feel cheated because colleagues of mine had 23 but had good schools, B school, second choice. A colleague of mine had 20, she's going to Adontin. But me having 14 and being placed at a C school as a day student, it makes me feel like the computerized placement system is not a trusted one.
Responding to such complaints, the Deputy National Coordinator of the Placement System defended the computerized model, stressing that the process is transparent and equitable. He further warned parents against paying bribes, reiterating that all placement services are free.
For instance, now you can't come here and do a change of school to a category A school. Those schools are filled up already. So what is happening here is just movement within the category C schools. Even technically, it ought not to be encouraged. But as human as we are, somebody comes to tell you that I was living here, now I've moved my family to this place and the distance is far. If only there is space, even though it's not supposed to be done, sometimes we try to entertain them just to, make sure they are also comfortable and the kids themselves also have sound mind to be able to go to the schools and study.
In a related development, Vice President Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman visited the Ministry of Education, where she was received by sector leaders. She urged officials to remain patient with parents and treat them with dignity as they resolve their grievances.
I know you are doing school placement and you have all kinds of people besieging not your offices, your homes, your phones, and all of them. What can we do? Let's just try very politely to explain the situation. What we try to do is to create more A schools with the E-blocks.
Concluding the conversation, the Vice President expressed her commitment to ensure that the current government and equip institutions across the country to make them all be at the same level to reduce pressure on Category A schools. Reporting from the Education Ministry here in Accra, I am Samuel Akom for Channel 1 News.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, has announced a 1.14% upward adjustment in electricity tariffs for the fourth quarter of 2025, effective October 1, 2025. In a statement, the Commission said water tariffs will remain unchanged during the period. The adjustments, according to the PURC, were made under its quarterly tariff review mechanism, which ensures tariffs reflect changes in key economic indicators beyond the control of utility service providers. The Commission said the slight increase in electricity tariffs was necessary to reflect the city's depreciation and inflationary trends while keeping the sector financially stable. The decision means consumers will see marginal changes in their electricity bills beginning October 1, while water tariffs remained the same. We are now joined on the phone lines by the Director of Research and Corporate Affairs at the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, Dr. Eric Obute, to discuss the latest quarterly adjustment in utility tariffs. Thank you very much, Dr. Obute, for joining us. Now, let's start with a headline figure, a 1.14% increase in electricity tariffs. Now, what has accounted for this?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to explain this. The 1.14%, in the minor tariff, we do consider 4 parameters. Basically, the exchange rate, the inflation, the weighted average cost of gas, which we call WACOG, and then also the thermal hydro generation mix. In the last quarter, we considered 28.80% generation from hydro and 71.2% from thermal. We maintained that for the fourth quarter. And the WACOG figure of $7.71 per MMBTU, that's million British thermal unit, we maintained that as well. We did not change that. The only variables which we considered were the two, which is the exchange rate and the inflation. Exchange rate depreciated marginally. The last quarter, in the third quarter, we used 10 cedis, 70 pesos to price the electricity or the utility tariffs. However, in this particular tariff window of the fourth quarter of 2025, we are using 12.37 cedis to the dollar. So there's an under-recovery there that we need to recoup and to make sure that the utilities also maintain the real value of the tariff as of the third quarter of 2025, so as to enable them to do their operational works that we have entrusted onto them to do. That's how come that there was a marginal upward change of 1.14% in electricity tariffs and 0% change in the water tariffs.
But how come? Because if you're looking at the city depreciation, for instance, that it means that it should affect electricity and water. So how come we have water tariffs remaining unchanged, but electricity going up?
Yeah, so when we did the computation, we realized that if we take all the factors into consideration, the exchange rate as well as the inflation, the marginal change in tariffs would have been 0.1% for water tariffs. So water tariffs are seen at a 0.1% change. However, in the wisdom of the commissioners, they thought it wise that 0.1% and 0%, there's not much difference. So let's rather maintain it at 0% so that there'll be no change at all in the water tariff. That's how come water tariffs have not changed with respect to the tariffs that we have just issued out.
Now, also ahead of this announcement, the PURC engaged stakeholders with utility providers requesting much higher tariff hikes. How is that this quarterly adjustment different from those earlier demands?
Well, there are two tariff windows. You see, what we just came up with is a quarterly review. So on a 3-monthly basis, we do review the tariffs. And the tariffs we do review are to maintain the quality or the real value of the major tariffs. In September 2022, we did what we call a major tariff. And that major tariff was supposed to last for a 3-year period. And that 3-year period ends in this year, 2025. So in this year, the utility service providers, i.e. BIDCO, ECG, Ghana Water Company, all of them have submitted proposals to the Commission with their major tariffs that they want to be considered in January 2026. Now, in the major tariff, we do consider both capital expenses and operational expenses. In the minor tariff, we consider only operational expenses, specifically factors which utility service providers do not have a control over in the minor tariff regime. But in the major tariff regime, we do consider capital expenses in the form of the cables, sub-stations that they build, transformers that they have to put in place, pipelines that Water Ghana Company has to lay, meters that have to be bought, operational vehicles. Those are all capital expenses that we consider in the major tariff. So what they have submitted to the Commission now is to do with the major tariff review, for which we are soliciting input from all stakeholders and consumers. So as we speak, even today, we had an engagement with consumers in Kufuria Eastern Region. So people from all parts of the Eastern Region congregated in Kufuria, and we have had an engagement with people for them to tell us their impression and the views they have of the proposal that have been submitted. So the proposals that have been submitted by the utilities, we've not yet taken a decision on that. We are now in the process of calculating, interrogating the proposals that have been sent to us, and whatever decision that is taken will be effected in January of 2026 and not in 2025.
Right, so in this regard, when will the next major tariff adjustment be, and how should Ghanaians position ourselves in terms of any significant increases?
The major tariff review is ongoing, and the decision will be reached by November 2025. But that decision, which will be reached in November 2025, will only take effect in January of 2026.
Right. Right. Now, another persistent concern is distribution losses, especially by the Electricity Company of Ghana. So how is ECG performing in this area?
Well, for the distribution losses, we have targets for each of these utility service providers. So ECG has gradually been reducing the losses when all those ones have taken into consideration whilst we price the tariffs. And in the major tariff as well, those ones will be taken on board in pricing the tariffs that will be given to the service providers. So all those ones will be considered. We do have what we call KID and SIFI. KID is a Customer Average Interaction Duration Index. So if, let's say, the service provider interrupts your service that they provide to you, ECG interrupts the service, how long does it take for them to come up to speed? We have an index for that, and we do have benchmarks for that.
Right.
If you use SIFI, the System Average Interruption Frequency Index, how often, frequency, on how many times do they interrupt your service provision to your apartment or to your premises?
Right.
We do have,
okay,
and we monitor all of that. So all of that will be taken on board when pricing the next tariff.
Very well. Director of Research and Corporate Affairs at the PURC, Dr. Eric Obute, thank you very much for your time. Now, away from that, the minority in Parliament is cautioning government to remain neutral in upholding Ghana's long-standing, non-aligned foreign policy on sensitive international matters. This comes after Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa described the situation in Gaza as genocide, citing a recent United Nations report. Charles Osukumi has more from Parliament.
A recent UN report concluded that there are reasonable grounds to believe that Israeli forces have committed genocidal acts in Gaza. In response, Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister openly referred to the events on the Gaza Strip as genocide. The remarks have drawn criticism from the minority who argue that such pronouncements risk undermining Ghana's long-standing non-aligned stance in global diplomacy.
The Minority Caucus wishes to emphasize that Ghana's enduring strength in international relations has always come from its ability to maintain independence, neutrality, and credibility, even when global powers have sought to draw us into their competing blocs. We therefore call on the government to exercise caution and be consistent in articulating Ghana's foreign policy positions, particularly on sensitive international conflicts, such as the Gaza conflict.
The minority further used the occasion to raise concerns about what they describe as an unconstitutional and non-transparent arrangement between the government and the United States over the reception of West African deportees into Ghana.
The fact that we, the minority members on the Foreign Affairs Committee, had to learn of this development in the media is very disturbing and is consistent with attempts by the executive to disregard the other arms of government. Ghana has, over the years, built a proud reputation for principled diplomacy rooted in non-alignment, regional solidarity, and respect for human rights.
The minority's position is that the Foreign Affairs Minister's argument that this arrangement between Ghana and the United States must be elevated to the level of an agreement before it is brought to Parliament is untenable. They are therefore calling on government to suspend the arrangement and wait for Parliament to reconvene and then come for parliamentary ratification. From Parliament House here in Accra, Charles Osukumi for Channel 1 News.
The Ghana Police Service has successfully dismantled a notorious armed robbery syndicate that had been targeting rural banks across multiple regions. Inspector General of Police Christian Tete Yohuno announced the breakthrough at a press conference at the National Police Headquarters in Accra, describing the operation as a decisive step in the service's crackdown on organized crime. There's more in this report by Channel 1 News' Fauzu Masaudu.
According to the IGP, police investigations over the past year revealed a disturbing trend of coordinated attacks on rural banks with striking similarities in execution, pointing to a well-structured syndicate. The multi-regional operation spanned 5 regions, Ahafo, Western, Central, Eastern and Ashanti, and resulted in the arrest of 10 suspects, while 3 others were fatally shot during a fierce gun battle with police.
We have successfully arrested 10 suspects. 3 other suspects were shot dead in the course of the operation during a shootout with the police. We have launched a manhunt for the remaining suspects who are on the run. We will not stop until we get them arrested. We were also able to recover 14 weapons, including AK-47 rifles, pump-action guns, a single-barrel gun, pistols, ammunition, vehicles, mobile phones, among others.
Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department, COP Lydia Yako Donko, issued a stern warning to criminals, stressing that no matter how far or long they run, the police will eventually catch up with them.
The Ghana Police Service will continue to work around the clock to ensure security, law, and order at all times in the country. As always, we call on all our stakeholders and the general public to continue to support the police, report suspicious activities, and share credible information with the police. To the criminals out there, always remember that you may run and hide, but we will surely get you arrested to face the full rigors of the law. We are coming for you. I thank you for your attention.
Now, in some other news, water bodies in mining communities, particularly in areas plagued by illegal mining, continue to suffer severe deterioration, according to a recent study by the Environmental Protection Agency. In Obuasi, the municipal chief executive, Adjobu Kofi William, has vowed to flush out all illegal miners along the Jimmy River as the once clear waterway turns increasingly polluted. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Bright Yabua reports.
The Jimmy River, once known for its clarity, has now turned visibly murky and polluted. Authorities blame illegal mining activities along its banks for the worsening state of the water. Speaking to the media during the commissioning of the Pomposo Footbridge, Obuasi East MCE Adjobu Kofi William vowed to evict all illegal miners operating in the area. He stressed that the assembly, working with security agencies, will not relent until the river is restored and protected.
We're going to the riverside. All those who are working, the illegal miners on the just by the river, just like what the president has said, that they don't want anybody to work in the water bodies. They don't want anybody to work in the forest. We need to comply with that, and then that is exactly the reason why we have to come up with that budget. The AG is ready to help us, and then we have put, I think, hopefully by November, we should be able to embark on all those exercises to make sure that we do away with those who are working at the rivers, just to make sure that we have a clean water to drink, and also our forests are also not actually destroyed.
Meanwhile, the project manager for Underground Mining Alliance, Bright Duho, pledged the company's commitment to improving safety in the communities where they operate. As part of this commitment, the company has commissioned a newly constructed footbridge linking Akaporiso and Pomposo in the Obuasi East municipality.
We believe in the fact that in as much as we are mining in the various communities, the communities will need to benefit. So therefore, we thought it's part of our principles, working in their shoes, making sure that people are safe, not only on the mine site. In as much as we want the mine site to be safe, we want the community to be safe as well. Guess what? Most of our guys going to Accra, wherever, to access any part of the country, use this road. So therefore, we took it upon ourselves to make sure that not only our workers are going to be safe, our community people also need to be safe as well. So therefore, we decided to take this one on board first. We also will consider any other thing that is in relation with safety as well, and then consulting with our main client, AGA, and then look at the decision and then take a decision going forward.
For Channel 1 News, I am Bright Yeboah.
President John Dramani Mahama has invited leaders of other third world countries to join the grand campaign for a framework that governs a new world order in health sector. Dubbed the Accra Reset, Reimagining Global Governance for Health and Development, this agenda would see countries in the Global South collaborate on ways to address their collective needs in the event of a health crisis. The president made the call at a side event of the ongoing UN General Assembly meetings, from where my colleague Umaru Sandamado reports.
Mirrored against President Mahama's own reset agenda in Ghana, this campaign is aimed at a mindset change and a new approach to solving global issues that affect poorer countries in particular. When COVID-19 struck, third world countries had to wait in queue for vaccines, and in the early years of HIV and AIDS, African countries suffered the most. President Mahama's agenda, which has received global appeal, therefore aims at a high-level collaboration to ensure the unique needs are addressed.
Health is once again at the forefront of this transformation, like it was then. It is the sector that is most exposed to the failures of aid dependency, but also the sector best positioned to provide sovereignty-led models that can succeed. We call on governments, innovators, financiers, and civil society to join this movement, to move from catalogs of need to engines of value creation, to redeem the promise of development for the post-SDG era.
Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, summarized what role individuals and heads of states and governments have to play in making this a success.
We all know that global health financing is under enormous pressure. Development assistance for health this year will be 14 to 29% lower than 2024, according to the OECD, returning it to levels last seen in the mid-2000s. Given ODA's importance in some countries' health systems, one might think that the case for a reset is simply because the money is no longer there.
For Health Minister Kwabena Minta Kando, this would be a huge relief for the health sector back home.
It is all about bringing health issues
to the front burner. And if you are bringing health issues to the front burner, what does it mean? The health sector lacks a lot of resources. And therefore, we have to rethink how we do things. We have always been moving around, waiting for people to come and help us do our things. This time around, we should learn how to mobilize our own resources. And that will not come with conditionalities.
Reporting for Channel 1 Newsroom, I am Omar Rusanda Amadu, New York.
Socio-economic activity along the Tema-Mpakadan corridor and surrounding areas is set to receive a major boost as passenger train services resume on October 1. The Ghana Railway Development Authority says all challenges that had halted operations, including infrastructure defects and land encroachment, have been resolved. There's more in the following report.
After the official opening of the 97-kilometer Tema-Mpakadan railway line in November 2024, the much-publicized service remains inactive, dashing hopes of commuters for a more reliable alternative. Speaking during a media briefing in Accra on Wednesday, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Dr. Frederick Appor, disclosed that the authority is also coordinating with other transport operators to ensure seamless onward connections for passengers.
I am happy, therefore, to announce to the general public that the 1st October, Ghana Railway Development Authority will be initiating the first passenger service run on the Tema to Adome corridor. We are going to run the trains two ways. We will run 30-minute service from Afenya to Tema Harbour, and we are going to also run another service from Afenya to Adome.
Meanwhile, the Trades Union Congress has warned the Ministry of Transport and the Ghana Railway Development Authority against operating the country's trains without resolving outstanding labor issues with workers. Joshua Ansah is the Secretary General of TUC, and he also spoke at a separate press conference in Accra.
We are also urging government to settle the salary arrears of the workers to avert the strike before 30th of September. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the TUC would like to caution the Ministry of Transport and the Ghana Railway Development Authority to desist from the unholy attempt to run the trains without the operator. The Ghana Railway Company Limited, that is the operator. The ministry and the operator cannot purport to run the Mpakadan rail lines and other lines without the operator. We will resist any attempt to sideline the Ghana Railway Company Limited.
This is the Channel 1 Newsroom, still to come. Ghana rakes in over 15 billion cedis from foreign visitors between October 2022 and September 2023. We'll be right back with more. Don't go away.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
It's on SuperSport all season long. Pay your subscription today. Dial *759#. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
Hey, Kweku. Where did they go so?
Chale, I am going to Ghana for Festac Festival 2025.
Africans are ready.
Welcome to Africa Show.
Africans are ready.
From the 21st to the 27th of September 2025, the world will gather under one sky celebrating what unites us. Our culture, our heritage, our pride. Welcome to Festac Africa Festival 2025, a 7-day explosion of colors, rhythm, fashion. Festac Africa Festival is not just an event. It's a festival of impacting inclusion and changing lives. Powered by Ghana Tourism Authority. Register today at www.festacafrica.org. Africa is ready. Ghana is ready. Accra is ready. Chale, are you ready? Festac Africa Festival Renaissance 2025. Ghana. Be there. Akwaba.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Coffee from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God up boom. If you put it to so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
DSTV means choosing.
Amazing acting.
Best friending while streaming.
Front row at the gaming and super fanning while on the going. Winning. Binging and blockbustering. While others are white ricing, you're jolloffing.
This looks so good.
With something for everyone. Anything is possible when you're DSTVing. Start today with all sorts of packages to match your...
Hey, Ghana. So you people know Miss Brother Man Small. If you knew, it's your boy. Kill them all, kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the great. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
Many thanks for staying. Next is Channel 1 Business with Nete Ajaho.
Channel 1 Business is brought to you by MTN and EcoBank.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
You're welcome, Natalie.
Thank you, Firma.
You know, I've been thinking maybe we should think more about, putting our energies into tourism.
Yes, because the sector is growing. Per latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service, 15.2 billion in just 2 years. That's a lot of money.
A lot, and December is around the corner.
More.
Please go on.
Now, Ghana's tourism sector is booming, with new figures from the Ghana Statistical Service showing that inbound overnight visitors spent a staggering 15.2 billion Ghana cedis between October 2022 and September 2023. The report, which tracked nearly 890,000 overnight visitors, accounting for nearly 99% of all international travels, reveals a sharp rebound in travel and spending. This report has more details.
Visitors' numbers peaked in the third quarter of 2023 when arrivals surged by 61.6% compared to the fourth quarter of 2022, driven by a wave of tourists from West Africa, Europe, the Americas, and Asia. Accommodation and food were the biggest beneficiaries, taking up nearly 63% of total spending. Hotels saw rising demand, with stays climbing to 146,571 in the third quarter of 2023. Business and professional travelers topped the spending charts, contributing 2.7 billion Ghana cedis in a single quarter, while American tourists recorded the highest per capita expenditure at 28,233 Ghana cedis. Top attractions such as the Cape Coast Castle, Independence Square, and Kakum National Park drew the highest crowds, with cultural tourism and heritage experiences leading the way. Yet, officials caution that most visits are concentrated around Accra and the Central Corridor, leaving opportunities untapped in other regions. Here is government statistician Dr. Ahassan Idrisu with a breakdown of the data.
Ghana welcomed 888,584 overnight travelers, with most coming to visit friends, relatives, though business trips were also significant. West Africans and Americans showed strong interest in our tourist sites. Hotels were the most popular accommodation, and the top destinations included Independence Square, the Arts Center, Cape Coast Castle, and the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. Together, overnight visitors spent 15.2 billion Ghana cedis, highlighting tourism's enormous economic impact. When we combine both groups, Ghana received more than 901,000 international visitors, who spent a total of 15.42 billion Ghana cedis.
The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has announced that achieving a net zero energy transition by 2070 will require an investment of more than $500 billion. To raise the needed funds, the ministry says it will introduce tax incentives for renewable energy projects and streamline regulations to attract private sector investment. Daniel Ojomensa has more in this report.
Speaking at the West Africa Green Economy Roundtable 2025, the acting chief director of the ministry, Solomon Ajete, reaffirmed government's commitment to implementing resilient measures to drive the transition agenda.
If you look at Ghana's green transition, the cost to get to net zero, as per the document, is over $500 billion US. It's not going to come from government alone. Okay, and therefore it's going to be private sector led, and that is why there has to be that kind of collaboration between public and then the private sector. So that collaboration is always needed.
Chairman of the Prison Service Council, Apostle Alexander Nanaya Kumilabi, highlighted the importance of faith-based organizations, including the church, in promoting advocacy for the energy transition and supporting the fight against illegal mining.
The church has a lot to do. We have to really engage and then work very hard at it and speak to the conscience of the people, especially those who come to church and those who go to mosque. We consider about 98%. So if we all believe in a God who created the universe, we can't sit aloof and see the environment degenerate. So the church has a major role to play.
Director of Paint Media Center, Pastor Dr. Felix Delacluche, also stressed the need for strong multi-stakeholder collaboration to design practical solutions towards building a green economy.
And as a Paint Media Center, it's imperative that we organize what we call the West African Green Economy Roundtable discussion so that we can bring together the academia, bring together captains of industry, bring together the clergy, and also other stakeholders and then environmental advocates so that we can sit on the same table and judge as to how best this issue of green economy will become a reality.
Let's now check how the local currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's all for the business segment. I am Neteli Neti Ajahu. Over to you, Freeman.
Thank you very much. Now to some other stories. Ghana's broadcasting industry is on the brink of a major transformation as the Africa Media Bureau, in partnership with Channel One TV and City FM, is bringing together key industry players for a high-level forum to chart a new course for the future of media industry. The event, Broadcasting at the Crossroads, Shaping the Future of Ghana's Electronic Media, is expected to align the country's broadcasting industry with global trends while addressing economic and regulatory challenges. There is more in the following report.
The high-level forum is to discuss how Ghana can realign its broadcasting policies and practices with international standards. Scheduled for Friday, September 26 at the Alisa Hotel, it will run under the theme Aligning Policy, Technology and Global Best Practices for a Resilient Media Landscape. Organizers say the forum will be hinged on building a forward-looking media industry.
The crossroads we're talking about is easy for you to just look at it against digital, new media and old media. We are crossroads with financial sustainability versus editorial independence. We are crossroads with political polarization versus professional objectivity. We are crossroads with speed versus accuracy. We are at a crossroads with safety of journalists versus impunity for the perpetrators. All of these things, we are at the crossroads with these things.
With 3 key panel discussions spanning critical topics such as artificial intelligence in broadcasting, the rollout of 5G infrastructure, digital convergence, licensing and compliance regimes, and the financial sustainability of media businesses, these voices from regulatory agencies, policymakers, and global technology partners are expected to culminate into actionable strategies in redefining the media landscape.
We cannot have a resilient media landscape without having to talk about the things that go into media. It is not just what you see on television or what you hear on radio or what you receive on social media. There's so much that goes into it. There's the technology, but all of these things exist within a framework. So we are having all of these people in this room to have these discussions and trusting that by the time we are done, we'll be able to come up with actionable outcomes that we can hand over to the Ministry of Communication.
Commuters at Hansonic and Dakuman Junction in the Ablikuma North constituency are once again battling deplorable road conditions made worse by Wednesday morning's rainfall. The recurring challenge has left residents and motorists frustrated as they call for urgent and lasting intervention. Rachel Engman reports.
Each time it rains at Hansonic and Dakuman Junction, the already poor state of the road deteriorates further. What was recently graded has once again given way. Wednesday's downpour left the stretch flooded with deep puddles, slowing traffic and making driving nearly impossible. The flooding also washed rubbish onto the road, compounding the frustrations of motorists and commuters. Residents say they are fed up with temporary fixes that fail to solve the problem. They are demanding a permanent solution.
Nancy Grampo MC Grampo Abaha Abaye Bibi Kakao Hamai say temporarily and faso. In Soto Nina saying a dream.
The solution should be holistic. They should sit down and plan well for the solution. See the engineers for them to bring a good solution, not a temporary bad solution.
Municipal Chief Executive for Ablikuma North, Kalamu Adamu Musa, told Channel One News that the Assembly is aware of the situation and is working on measures to address it within the shortest possible time.
Scope of work here is more than our threshold as an Assembly. So all that you see us doing over the years is just intervention. And I can assure you, what I'm seeing here is not also good. So as soon as possible, my engineers will come to site and then we'll make sure we fix it so that at least our communities commuters will also have a smooth ride on the road.
He added that as part of broader efforts to decongest and improve sanitation at the Mala market, the assembly will demolish an abandoned structure that has been overrun with weeds, rubbish and rodents for more than 18 years. The reclaimed space, he explained, will be added to the market to accommodate traders, especially those currently selling along pavements. For residents here at Hansonic and Akuman Junction, the concern is not just about navigating through floodwaters, but also about how long they will have to wait for a permanent fix to their road. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Rachel Engman.
Supporters of the 2025 City Business Olympics, Bethel Logistics and Dampont Healthcare say their long-standing partnership with City FM and Channel 1 TV has significantly boosted their brands and visibility. A key reason for backing this year's edition of the biggest annual corporate sporting event, the City Business Olympics, scheduled for Saturday, 27 September, comes off at the Eden Heights Sports Complex.
With just 3 days to go, competing companies, partners and supporters are gearing up for the 2025 City Business Olympics at Eden Heights Sports Complex in Weija in Accra. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, General Manager of Bethel Logistics, Mark Ofori, said the company's partnership with City FM and Channel 1 TV has greatly enhanced its brand and public visibility.
For us, and City is like it's a family home. So, you know, City has been on Beyond Borders. We've done footprints.
Absolutely.
So for us, City is like a home.
You have your footprints on our timeline.
On your timelines. So anything City, Bethel Logistics is proud of.
I love it. What does it do for you? What does this association...
Well, the mileage. You can't joke with it. The business mileage, the exposure.
Yeah.
You are anywhere and they are like, oh, we saw you on City.
That makes it easy.
On Channel 1 TV.
They
By then it was
you.
City TV.
Yeah.
Oh, we saw you on City. Anywhere you walk into the...
Bethel Logistics.
Exactly. These are the people who always are on City TV.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen them?
Yeah.
That alone.
There's a more tiny.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Head of Clinic Operations and Administration at Dampont Healthcare, Augustine Ano, noted that the facility will provide free health screening for participants.
Doing a blood pressure check, we're going to do a sugar check, and then we'll do education.
Wow.
You know, people don't seem to want to understand the need to do a self-check. Voluntarily go and then run some testing yourself. But most of us here drive. Every 3 months, we send our cars to the workshop. Every 6 months, we take our car for maintenance. But how often do we take ourselves for maintenance? We are the ones driving this. So as part of the free screening we'll be doing, we're going to do health education, awareness creation.
The City Business Olympics 2025 is powered by City FM and Channel 1 TV in partnership with Side Hustle. And it's proudly sponsored by UMB Bank and Eden Heights Sports Complex and supported by Bethel Logistics, Dampont Healthcare and Hallmark Cafe.
You're still live on the Channel 1 Newsroom, still ahead. Ghana's Tariq Lamptey sidelined after ACL surgery. We'll be right back, do stay.
This BB9 Jazz Season 10. No filters, no scripts, no holding back. Cause it's 10 times the drama, 10 times the rivalry, 10 times the game. This is certified. No zero, no minus. Big Brother 9 Jazz Season 10 on Showmax.
His uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame? As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go
Kofi be the luckiest. Kofi from Georgia be luckiest. From Natepia, cause she be luckiest. Me and you Kofi be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
God Kwamio!
Senya God the apple boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712#. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
You've seen nothing yet. This Big Brother Naija Season 10. It's 10 times the drama, 10 times the rivalry, and 10 times the game. This is certified. No zero, no minus. Big Brother Naija Season 10. Showing 24/7 on DSTV and on GoTV. Gold sponsor, Guinness.
Welcome back. This is the Channel 1 Newsroom. Next is Channel 1 Sports with Bernard Abekotre. Very honored to have your presence here, Abeku. Yes, I know.
I said that first.
Don't worry, don't worry. Bless us with updates from the world of sports.
Let's get into it, shall we? Now, Ghana winger Tariq Lamptey has successfully undergone surgery on an anterior cruciate ligament injury he sustained recently. The Fiorentina player who joined the Italian Serie A side from Brighton and Hove Albion picked up the injury during a league game against Como on Sunday, September 21. Fiorentina confirmed that Lamptey had undergone a series of clinical and diagnostic tests which revealed an isolated tear of the ACL requiring surgery. Lamptey is expected to be sidelined for an extended period and faces a race to be fit in time for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Ghana lead Group I of the African qualifiers and are on the verge of sealing a spot at the tournament. Let's do some local stuff now. And BBN Gold Stars have parted ways with head coach Frimpong Manson, with the club's leadership insisting the decision was not directly linked to their recent defeat against Algerian side JS Kabylie in the CAF Confederations Cup. Talk about the CAF Champions League. Well, Chief Executive Officer of the club, Kwesiedu, explained that the board had already resolved to move on in a new direction before the weekend setback. The Miners are expected to name a replacement after their upcoming fixture as they aim to stabilize both their domestic and intercontinental campaign.
Gold Stars, our focus is not about the CAF Champions League alone. We are assuming that we have FA Cup to play, we have 34 league matches to play. So our decisions and our focus should go on all these competitions. So if you fall out from the CAF Champions League, you must look down that the Premier League is also waiting for you. That's why sometimes some of our decisions people may not understand, but we know what we're doing. The name Kabylie, it has a lot of stories because even the media fame will just be attributing to their past successes and will just make things look scary. But I know my boys have come back home. They saw what happened on the Pahinijan pitch, and they also admitted that no, even if they have gotten strongly like they did in the last quarter of the game, things couldn't have gone like it happened. So I know there will be some lot of changes, and we will just go and fight hard.
Well, that's the very latest from the world of sports, and I am Bernard Abekotre. I love red. I think you should join Manchester United. That's your sports. That's
you
your sports.
You are pardoned. You are pardoned.
That's your sports.
We'll see you on Saturday at the CBO.
100%. I love how the companies are gearing up and throwing challenges, for each other.
I like that.
I love that. I love
something
the energy.
to cheer about.
And I promise we're going to have fun.
Absolutely.
It's the best place to be over the weekend.
Exactly.
I'll
So for those
there.
of us who are not competing, we are there to have fun and network.
100%. I love networking.
I'll catch you later,
Sure.
of course. And that's how we wrap up. This has been the Channel 1 Newsroom. Do visit our website, channel1newsonline.com, for information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel 1 TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Channel 1 TV. Download the Channel 1 TV app on Google Play Store and the App Store. I'm Frema Edunyame. Thanks for watching.